attention to the news or social media in the past few years, you've probably heard of essential questions swirling around. I'm Laney, and this is When Murder Comes Knocking. About the fatal shootings of wife and son disgraced around South Carolina. Personal injury attorney Alex Murdaugh, who was found guilty in June 2021 for the murders of his son Paul and his wife Margaret. Alex Murdaugh made a call to 911 on June 7, 2021 to say he had found two lifeless bodies. What the police didn't know at the time is that it was his son and wife that he had found. Quivering, still on the phone with 911, he says, "I just came back." Now that was anything but the truth, as he in fact is the one who killed them. According to NBC News today, fearing for his years of stealing from his law firm and clients would be exposed, hoping to maintain a lawful standing in the community, Murdaugh killed his son and wife. He hatched a clever plan to make sure they were on the family's property on the night they were killed. According to NBC News, a coroner reveals Margaret and Paul both suffered multiple gunshots. According to NBC News, a coroner reveals Margaret and Paul both suffered multiple gunshot wounds, with the estimated time of death between 9 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. On September 4th, 2021, in a roadside shooting in Hampton County, authorities say his lawyer and friend Jim Griffin tells news outlets that Murdaugh's black Mercedes-Benz SUV had a flat tire, and he pulled the vehicle over when a pickup truck passed by and turned around, and the person inside opened fire. He had a headshot wound. He had been flown to Memorial Health University Medical Center in Savannah, Georgia for treatment. Authorities say that he in fact hired a man to kill him, so his older son Buster could collect on the $10 million life insurance policy. The man, identified as Curtin Edward Smith, 61, is arrested on charges of assisted suicide, assault, and battery of a high aggravated nature. An attorney for Murdaugh, Richard, tells NBC News today that his client was depressed and attempting to get off an addiction. An attorney for Murdaugh, Richard, tells NBC News today that his client is depressed and attempting to get off an addiction that continued to consume him in the wake of his wife and son's death. Believing his insurance had a suicide cause, Richard says Murdaugh enlisted a man to kill him during a fake car breakdown. On September 16, 2021, Murdaugh surrenders to authorities after he is charged with insurance fraud, conspiracy to commit insurance fraud, and filing a false police report. He is granted bond, and the judge orders him to surrender his passport but permits him to return to the drug rehabilitation center. On October 19, 2021, a South Carolina judge denies Murdaugh bond and orders him to undergo a psychiatric evaluation. November 19, 2021, the state's investigation into Murdaugh's business dealings leads to newfound incriminations announced against him, totaling 27 counts, including the breach of trust with fraudulent intent. Altogether, Murdaugh is charged with the respected alleged schemes and to defraud victims, and thereafter laundering money, nearly $4 million, the state's Attorney General office said. A legal claim is filed against the estates of Murdaugh. Murdaugh. A legal claim is filed against the estates of Margaret and Paul Murdaugh by the mother of Mallory Beach, 19, who was killed in a boat crash in 2019. The boat was owned by Murdaugh, and the investigators have said Paul had been steering at the time. Some point during the night of underage drinking involving 6 people on board, the boat slammed into the piling below the bridge, and passengers ages 18 to 20 were ejected. Two survivors also joined the Beach family's legal claim, an attempt to get the money they believe they are owed as a result of the accident. Murdaugh killed his son and wife to gain sympathy, escape accountability for his string of financial crimes. Murdaugh's lawyers rejected the state's motive question: why would he shift a financial investigation away from himself, only to put himself in the middle of a murder investigation? Murdaugh was found guilty in many charges, including murder. My name is Dalen Laney, and this was When Murder Comes Knocking.